Nothing official. I'm told they haven't met to negotiate anything. I mean, it sounds like they haven't really been at the table in a while either. That the reported last offer was 5 years at 8 million, and that was weeks ago, and it was rejected. Unsurprisingly, this is his last big crack at a long-term contract, and if he goes to free agency, it's expected that he'll have a number of teams very interested in offering him a 7-year deal, and then you can get a little bit of a bidding war, and maybe he ends up with 8.5 or something like that too over a 7-year deal. So I think his camp that they are very much open to staying in Vancouver and that they might take even a bit of a haircut on that term, maybe drop down to 7, maybe even drop down to 6 years if that cap hit is it makes sense for them long term. I think you would prefer to stay in Vancouver. But it's up to this point, the Canucks, they were pretty steadfast at 4 or 5 years, and so we'll see if they want to move the needle up to 6 and if that gets it done. But they've had all season, and now we're down to just a couple of days. It would have to be one of these at midnight signings. I do know his name is out there. That teams are calling, Canucks are listening, they're open. Nobody's obviously offered something that's knocked their socks off, or else the deal probably would have already done. But everything comes back to this team wants to make the playoffs. They want playoff revenue. You trade Brock Besser, that's going to diminish that unless you quickly take those assets and flip them for a player. So, like I said, I think all options are on the table. If I was betting, I would say that Brock's probably here past the deadline, and then we see what happens. The worst case scenario is he's here past the deadline. They don't make the playoffs, and then he just walks. That would be disastrous. But at least if he can if they can make the playoffs and he can maybe do a little something, maybe there's still some time to get that extension done before July 1. But at this point in time, it's too close to tell, I'd say.